Sometimes I really struggle how to start videos. Like once I start talking, I can go, but starting videos to me sometimes is a big pain in the ass. But anyways, we had the Witcher 4 tech demo that came out today, right? And if you watch the tech demo, you have to admit that in and itself looks amazing. Okay? It looked fucking incredible. Oh my god. Just the way that the landscape looks in Unreal 5.6, I think that it was that they're showing off, looks immensely incredible. And then also as well of when it came to a lot of like the smaller details about what they can do within UE5 as well now, with like especially when it came to the horse's muscular structure, the fact that UE5 is now going to be able to, you know, actually animate that, like they are able to animate like the muscles within the horse so that it flows like it's real life is incredible. And then also at the end, after they went through the entire tech demo, they were also showing about what they were doing with foliage in order to, you know, make it easier to render within the game. And a lot of people are obviously excited for this. A lot of people thought that this whole entire tech demo was amazing, but also a lot of people are a little bit skeptical with it, and a lot of people are just like putting the brakes on all of this and saying, hey, it's just a tech demo. It's nothing to be too hyped up about. Which, I mean, yes and no at the same time, because I can completely understand it. And a lot of people were making comparisons back to like when Witcher 3 first came out as a demo, and then when it eventually came out on full release. So these like right here are comparisons of when, like, you know, there was in-game trailers and demos of all of this coming out, especially mainly like, you know, gameplay trailers for The Witcher 3, and then comparing it to its gameplay like just 2 years later, which is about the same amount of time that we're going to see Witcher 4 be. I think it's not really scheduled for release until 2027. It's definitely not coming out next year. We've still got a couple more years to go of when it comes to like The Witcher 4 getting fully released. But I do want to say that I feel like when it comes to like these 2013 like demos and also trailers of The Witcher 3, is that they're really not that far off of what we're seeing now in terms of these tech demos in 2025. And you know what, if you know anything about the way that UE5 has, like, you know, evolved over time, and just the Unreal Engine as well, and just the way that gaming has gone from back to, you know, 2013 up until 2025 now, is that yes, I definitely feel as though when we get the game, it is definitely going to be a little bit of a level down. But I don't think that there's going to be that much of a downgrade of what we've seen in the past when it has come to a lot of like demos, you know, when we used to get E3 back in the day. Like that was such an infamous meme of where, you know, there would be an E3 demo that would come out. I mean, Anthem is also a great example. You know, the E3 demo looked so great. It was like, oh my God, look how good the game looks. And then it comes out and it's just shit, because what they're able to do of when it comes to, you know, making these in-game trailers, and then what they're able to, you know, pretty much compact into a game and what, you know, average hardware can handle is two completely different things. But I think that the way that hardware has evolved into this year, and also the way that UE5 has evolved, and to me as well, like the biggest takeaway of when it came to this tech demo was the way that they were talking about the foliage of like the trees, and the way that they're able to do the assets to be able to multiply it, and when it comes to the way that they're going to render it going forward as well, is to me like the biggest eye-opener for this. So as much as I feel as though that we are going to, you know, have a little bit of a downgrade of when it comes to, you know, the way that the game looks from a tech demo to the actual game, I feel like it won't be as bad as a downgrade as, say, like, you know, when it came to the visual aspects that I showed of with Witcher 3 and a lot of other past games that we've had, in terms of, you know, downgrading from the in-game trailers and the demos to the actual gameplay. But even then, even if there's a little bit of a downgrade from it visually, I mean, that's never really bothered me all that much. It's more or less just to like get people hyped up onto the game. But to me, what like the things that actually really matter, and I think the things that people should be taking out of the trailers like a lot more, besides like, you know, the visual integrity that Witcher 4 could potentially have, is more or less like the interactions that happened when Ciri first went into the town between her and a lot of the NPCs, which a lot of people, I saw some people saying that like, stuff like this isn't possible. The way that the town evolves and the way that things go about, once again, people are saying that this isn't something that's going to be able to be brought into the game and it's just a scripted event. Well, to me, I have a counter argument to that, is that when it comes to these two, like if there's one thing that's going to get downgraded, if you had to tell me that one thing is going to be downgraded, either the way that the game looks graphically or the mechanics that they're showing in terms of NPC behavior, it's going to be graphically. Because when it comes to NPC behavior, we've actually seen this recently. Well, not even recently. It was years ago now. Red Dead Redemption 2 had a lot of these, like, you know, the way that NPCs would act in the world. I mean, there's one great example. I mean, I might not be able to... I'll see if I can find it while I'm editing this video, because I haven't saved it up now because it's just popped in my mind while I've been recording. There is this scenario in the game of where you keep going back to the same spot, you see these people, you see these NPCs building up a house, and it's just like incredible the way the world evolves around you as you go through the game. So for the fact that people say like, oh, it's just a scripted area and that's not possible, no, I think that with the technology that we've seen, especially from games like Red Dead Redemption 2, and obviously, you know, it's not Rockstar, it's CD Projekt Red. You know, if there's another company that I would put my trust in, I mean, I don't really put my trust in too many gaming companies these days. I mean, CD Projekt Red would have to be one of them. But once again, another concern that a lot of people have been having of when it comes to The Witcher 4, and a lot of people are putting their skepticism within the game, is the fact that it is being made by CD Projekt Red, and the fact that the last game that they released was Cyberpunk 2077. And if we all know about Cyberpunk 2077, is that had an extremely infamous release. I mean, I feel like CD Projekt Red were like the first company where they started like the whole putting out a message of how their game was unfinished, right? Because like Cyberpunk was in development for so long and it was hyped up to be one of the greatest games of all time, and then when it came out, like the game was good, but it still 100% fell short. Fans knew that it fell short, and even CD Projekt Red knew that it fell short with them releasing that message about how the game wasn't complete on release. And then it wasn't until 2.0 to which now you can sit back and you can go, damn, Cyberpunk 2077 and its DLC Phantom Liberty is an absolute masterpiece, which I agree on. Like, I played the game when it first came out, never finished it. Once 2.0 came out, I finished the main story, played all of the DLC, and have absolutely fucking loved every single second of it. But obviously people have skepticism of when it comes to Witcher 4, and they're being a little bit hesitant and being like, yes, we're seeing this great tech demo and everything, but we saw that with you know, Cyberpunk 2077, when they would show off demos and trailers and the game looked absolutely fucking incredible, and then when it came out, it was just unfinished. And to me, like, if this was any other company, like Ubisoft, EA, Blizzard, you know, these companies have a massive track record of just absolutely fucking hating on the consumers, hating on their customers, and for a long time now, they've been terrible. With CD Projekt Red, yes, Cyberpunk wasn't great, but besides that, they've never disappointed. Like, even with Cyberpunk, yes, it was disappointing on launch, but they definitely, like, put their heart and soul and made it come back in, like, I think it was, it took, like, 3 years for the game to actually fully, like, get to 2.0. And I feel like if a company's, like, gonna learn from their mistakes, I feel like CD Projekt Red is one of those companies where it's just like, hey, I can trust this company to do better. Not many companies you can say that for. And like, you might not think that way, but I definitely feel like, you know, CD Projekt Red is going to do better of when it comes to the release for Witcher 4, which is why it's not going to be out for another like 2 years. Who knows? It might not even come out in 2027. And hey, if they had to turn around and say we're delaying the game because it's not done, I would be fine with that. It would not bother me whatsoever if Witcher 4 had to get delayed because CD Projekt Red feels like the game isn't finished and they don't want a reoccurrence of Cyberpunk 2077, because I don't think any of us do. Like, honestly, no one wants especially as a hyped game, because when it comes to the Witcher series, it's arguably been like one of the most critically acclaimed series from both like critics and fans of how great the whole entire series is. Which kind of brings up another argument of where people are saying, hey, you know, Witcher 3, it looked like this in the demo, but when it came out, it looked like this instead. That doesn't matter. You wanna know why? Because the game was still fucking amazing. So I think that when it comes to this tech demo, visuals look great. They're not going to look like that on release, but I definitely feel like compared to other demos that we've seen in the past, considering the way that UE5 has developed to this point, that we will see like a bit more of, you know, those visuals that are shown in demos to keep within the game. Who knows, I might be wrong, but I definitely am more intrigued of when it comes to the NPC like interactions and behaviors within the game, and I think that they're going to stick around. And that CD Projekt Red, I don't think that they're going to want a repeat of what happened with Cyberpunk. But I'm curious to see if you guys have the same opinions as me. Are you looking forward to Witcher 4? Are you being skeptical about it? But even if you are skeptical about Witcher 4, one thing that we can all agree on is that Ciri looks fucking amazing. Oh my god. Smash. Like, without a doubt, smash. Every fucking day of the week. Oh my god, is this woman beautiful. She is amazing. And you know what? I can't wait till I go to conventions and I see people cosplay as Ciri from The Witcher 4. She looks great. The models look fucking amazing. But that's going to be it from me. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.